Once again, Yali Madad to all friends online. We are going to start today the second session on Dasond Male Wajbat. We started this discussion on Dasond Male Wajbat in the last class, and we did receive some questions, and inshallah we'll incorporate the questions we have received and go through the higher level of understanding. So the objective of today's session, which is part 2, as I said, we do need to seek higher understanding. The objective is that we all get motivated to learn, grow, and spend more time learning this knowledge by picking up the books, Quran, and highlighting and learning. Again, it is very individualized. Everybody has different ways of doing things, and we are absolutely fine. But the important thing is that we all continue to learn and grow. Then I do intend to review a bit because there are some friends who are new, who did not attend the last session, so we'll review. However, I do want to say that the principle or approach I'm following is actually going to discuss familiar things and then go into the new concepts. Pick easier things and then get into the complexity. So when we talk of Dasond, we actually did discuss few new things last class, but today we are going to be going into deeper level of it. This is the method which our peers have taken when they were teaching the Jamaat, that always start with what they knew and then give them new concepts. Always start with easier things and then go to the complex levels. And that is why when we studied the reincarnation, when one of you asked reincarnation, and we had gone into detail how our peers have taught us, and then we have grown from that time. Why are we doing all these things? The reason is that our minds are filled with some understanding, because we have lived in this world, so we have learned or heard or whatever, there are concepts in our mind. In order for us to learn new concepts, correct concepts, true knowledge concepts, there has to be a destruction. We do need to break all those false concepts we have in our mind. Why? To construct new concepts. Ill concepts have to be gone for the new concepts to be learned. Our mind is already filled with knowledge, information. That has to be going out for us to have a space to learn the true knowledge. And for that, we will be going and walking on this journey step by step. Now, Dasond or Zakat, we've been talking about it. Zakat being the pillar of Islam, we've been talking about it. Question which was asked by friends is that, why do we need to pay money in Jamaat Khana? Why does religion requires money? And we had said that yes, we do give money in Dua Karavi. We do give money as Dasond. We do give money in Majalis to enroll. And then we give donation. These are the 4 different categories in which we do use money. And today we are focusing on Dasond. We did discuss historically that all religions have Dasond. All religion with different names. In Islam, the sources of revenue, the sources of tax, there were 4 terms which were used by Prophet at that time, 1400 years ago. And those terms were Ushar, Jazya, Zakat, and Khums. Now, why do we need to study these 4 terms? Simply because we live with Ummah, and at times when we don't know the meaning of these terms, we get into difficulties. And I'll quote you an example from a friend in our Jamaat Khana. She came to me and she said she has a jewelry store. So they were launching new jewelry or something of, for the customers. And her manager who was Muslim, non-Ismaili, Sunni brother, and he says that how about giving some jizya? And she looks at him. What is jizya? You know, without saying the words. And he says, and he looked at her and he understood. He said, you know what, we have to give, feed some poor people. And she's like, she's telling me, in my heart, I'm asking, how am I going to find poor people? And why do I need to feed poor people to launch a jewelry? So this gentleman tells her that, you know, when we feed some poor people, it will bring some blessings, their dua. And after that, we should, you know, launch this. And she said, okay. And she gave him a couple $100 and then whatever he did. And when she asked me, I said, do you know jizya is never given by Muslims? And she says, I don't know. So that is why it is important that we need to know these terms. Now, ushur is the 10th part of the text which was applied on all Muslims at that time who had land and they were earning money through their agriculture earning. Jizya actually was a pool tax applied on non-Muslim in place of ushur. In place of the 10th% tax, it was applied to non-Muslim. And then zakat was like poor tax, which is 2.5% given by Muslims. And then khums was the 5th part of whatever they got from ganima, from the loot of the war, the battles, whatever they got, remains of the battle, they had to give the 5th part as a tax to Paigambar. So these are 4 terms. Again, we are making it very simply and understanding it as a basic understanding of these concepts. We are not going into detail, but just knowing the terms, at least that we know when we hear these terms. We had studied this farman, but let us study it again. And one of you can read this farman, please.
Please recite Holy Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Farman Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah alayhi salam. Both khums and zakat were paid in the period of the Prophet. The people of that time understood that these taxes must be paid for governing the religious rule, and it could not be governed without it. Tanarivi, 8 June 1946. Alhamdulillah Salawat Paro. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. So Imam's hidayat is very clear to us. Imam is teaching us that during that time people used to give khums and zakat. Religion cannot go on. The Raj of the Imamat cannot go on without the religious text. It has always been there. Jamaat who lived with Muslim, our Jamaat in India, Pakistan and Afghanistan, everywhere, they were always challenged and sometimes ridiculed on not paying zakat. They were asked questions, oh, you don't give it to poor? Because what was the answer by Jamaati members? Oh, we give it to our Imam. Why do you have to give it to Imam? Your Imam is very rich. We did not have answer because we didn't have knowledge. And then after that, doubts were added into Jamaati members by giving them waswasa. That Imam has this money, Imam has, you know, horses, he races, you all know about it. There are Smiley members, I know, in Texas, in Dallas, who have left Ismaili Tariqa because they did not understand all this knowledge. It is due to lack of knowledge. And in today's time, our youngsters are asking this question too. Why do we have to pay money in Jamaat Khana? That is why it is so important that we do need to understand these concepts in a broader range. So we are able to give answers accurately. When we don't know, oh, you don't give zakat? No, we don't. We give Dasond to Hazrat Imam. That is not enough. We need to be able to say more. And hopefully, by today's understanding, today's class, we will find confidence with knowledge that we are in accordance with the talimat of the Prophet Muhammad, Quran, and our Imam. So current practice is an issue. We do all understand that religious dues have to be paid, and that is what we call the Dasond. It is actually Imam's privileged. It is Imam's haq. As I said, Jamaat living with other Muslims, they are unable to answer clearly, accurately. What is Jamaat's understanding? The way one of the friend had asked that the Dasond is actually haq of Imam and haq of Pir. Very true, very correct. But again, let's go back to that understanding that Islam religion came 1400 years ago. Though the religion of Islam has been going on from the first day, it was completed on Prophet Muhammad. The talimat of the Prophet Muhammad and then revelation of Quran and Prophet Muhammad making Maula Ali the Janashin. It is the same religion. The tariqa is Ismaili. In Ismaili tariqa, Imam had sent peers to Iran and different places to Indo-Pak to teach Jamaat the Islam religion, Ismaili tariqa. When we say that we know about haq of Imam and haq of Pir, we do not pay zakat. That was the understanding which Pir gave to us at that time. Question is why? When Pir knew Quran, Pir knew the concept of zakat, why Pir taught us that it is the haq of the Imam and the Pir? There's a very simple answer. Jamaat at that time was so poor. They cannot think of giving others when they themselves needed the charity. So what were they taught? It is the haq of the Imam and haq of the Pir. And with that Iman in their heart, they paid the Dasond. And we did talk about different stories last time, how Sultan Muhammad Shah, Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, has been so strict in asking Jamaat to giving the Dasond. Because that is the tax which we do need to pay. And we did talk about the benefits of it. So yesterday when the peers were teaching us, it was haq of Imam and haq of the Pir. And now we understand why there was no mention of zakat as per se, because the Jamaat themselves were very, very poor. In today's time, in current time, if someone is asked, why do you not pay zakat? Are you Muslim? How do we handle that question? So let me tell you, the Dasond is interchangeably also called zakat. Why and how? We will go into detail of that. The Dasond is also interchangeably called zakat. Now this is confusing because according to the understanding we have gotten from the definition of the word, the way money was collected at that time, zakat is the tax of the poor. We are not giving money to any poor, we are giving money to Imam. How can it be zakat? So let us answer all these questions. First, we do need to know, when we pay the Dasond, where does the money go? Imam decides how to use it. Imam may keep it for himself. Those who work on the part or karsazi, they do know that 99% of the time, all the money we give in Jamaat Khana actually is used for Jamaat Khana maintenance. Do we think is it easier to maintain Jamaat Khana? All the bills, electricity bills and whatnot, maintenance of Jamaat Khana? Then with Imam's desire, it can be used for institutional expenses, AKF projects. We don't ask question, it is Imam's desire. But we do know those amaldar who work at a higher position, the money is used for these things. Last time when we had studied the word zakat, we did understand that it is for purification purposes. So zakat, when we call zakat, the word zakat, we have to now understand the ta'wil, the higher understanding of the word zakat. Let us review this verse to understand what we are talking about. So this is from online Quran, just to show it to you. chapter 91, Surah Shams, verse 9. Kad afla man zakaha. The word zakah we are looking at. It is from zakat. So there are different translations I have taken just for us to understand. Remember, the objective is not to overwhelm, just to understand the concept. But there are some who will enjoy this because they want to learn in depth. So for them, it is an invitation, then go deeper. So there are different translators. For example, Yusuf Ali is a Shia translator. Picktel is someone, when he's an Arabic scholar, when he translated Quran, he became Muslim. He was a Christian. And then there is Shahi International, Sunni Quran, Sunni translation. So we have taken all three different translations, and let's look at the translation, how they've done it. He has succeeded who purifies it. He is indeed successful who causeth it to grow. Truly he succeeds that purifies it. Now we get the gist of it, that it is talking about purification. But let's look at word-to-word translation. Again, it is online, word by word. And we are looking at the same verse, chapter 91, verse 8. And we are looking at the word zakah. The word zakah means purifies, purification. The word zakat means purification. So when we are saying we give Imam Dasond, actually the objective is nothing to do with the money. Money is our test, but it is for the purpose of us becoming pure. It is for the purpose of us becoming pure. Dasond is given to Imam for our purification's sake, and it is must at three levels: physical, spiritual, and intellectual. All this understanding comes with knowledge. When we start this journey, it is all physical. We earn money, we give money to Imam. Whatever way Imam uses the money, whatever way Imam decides to use money, it is Imam's desire, Imam's will. We don't ask question. But do we not know that the money is used for these things? We do know. We do know. Let's look at this another verse. Chapter 30, verse 38. It says, so give the relative his right, as well as the needy and the traveler. So this is the group of people who are in need of money, who are poor. Quran is asking to give. That is best for those who desire the didar of Allah. To give is for those who desire the didar of Allah. And it is they who will be successful. So those who seek the didar, they will give. And they will also be successful. Now, question here one can ask, that this is again in the category of needing, who needs money, like poor people or needy people. This does not tell me that it is the haqq of the Imam. How do I understand that? Now let's look at this next verse. Same chapter, next verse. And it says, and whatever you give for interest to increase within the wealth of people will not increase with Allah. Now this is another concept of sood, vyaj, interest. People when give to others for the sake of gaining interest, gaining money, Allah says that will not increase with Allah. But what you give in zakah, desiring the didar of Allah, those are the multipliers. Note the difference in both the verses. The first is also good, it is appreciated. The first is in the category of donation. Give to those who need. And it is for those who seek closeness to Imam, it is good to do that. But the next is very clearly telling us what you give in zakah, desiring the countenance of Allah, those are the multipliers. So if we give dasond to Imam, that is what multiplies. If we truly seek the increase, people who have money, they think that they let people borrow money from them and they get vyaj or sood, they will have increase. That is a worldly increase. If we want spiritual intellectuals increase with closeness of Imam, seeking his didar, zakat is the one which is multipliers, which it gives us the increase. Now, I also want to draw attention for those who read Urdu, how challenging it is to study these things. That is why Imam says that it takes years of study. If you were to read Urdu translation, let me do that. तुम जो सूद पर देते हो कि लोगों के माल में बढ़ता रहे, वो अल्लाह ताला के यहाँ नहीं बढ़ता. That part we understand. और जो कुछ सदका, ज़कात तुम अल्लाह का मुंह देखने दो, तो ऐसे ही लोग अपना दो चंद करने वाले हैं. Here, with the word zakat, sadka is added. If we were to look at the transliteration, there is no word as sadka in Arabic. That is why it is so important for us to have a Quran which has transliteration. It does not matter if it is translated by Sunni or Shia. What matters is that we are able to read transliteration. So if you were to look at this verse and look for word sadaqah, you will not find it, but you will find the word zakat. So those who pay dasond, meaning for the purification purposes, those who pay zakat, they are the successful. Let me repeat. I hope you are listening carefully. Those who pay dasond are successful. Those who pay zakat are successful. Dasond and zakat for the purpose of purification are the ones who are successful. Let's look at this another verse. Chapter 87, verse 14. Kad aflaha man tazakka. Again, the word zakah is there. He has certainly succeeded who purifies himself. How does he purify? By giving the zakat. So if we don't pay attention to transliteration, we will not understand what is exactly being said here. Sometimes they put the translation, they sometimes put zakat, so it is confusing. That is why it requires very careful, attentive, serious study to understand the deeper meaning. So we pay dasond, we pay zakat. It is for the purification purposes. That is why dasond in today's time is interchangeably also called zakat. We do pay zakat, but with the understanding of the zakat. According to the Quranic talimat, the word zakat is used for purification purposes. So we pay dasond, we pay zakat for the purification purposes. Now, someone may ask, oh, no, we pay zakat to poor people. Why do you pay zakat to Imam? Imam decides where he needs to put money. And we don't need to worry because we have so many examples of Imam's work. AKF is a great example. We do not need to feel guilty, ashamed. One of the friends actually asked me this question that in Ramzan, every time she is being made to feel guilty by others, embarrassed that she doesn't pay zakat because she has very many non-Ismaili Muslim friends. No, we do not need to be feeling that way. We need to seek knowledge to be able to be confident and say, we do pay zakat. For us, zakat is for the purpose of purification, coming close to Imam, seeing his didar, batni nurani didar. Dasond, those who pay at all three levels are successful. It is said by Quran. Now this verse we did study last time. We're just going to review so the concept, a complete concept registers in our heart and mind. This is chapter 8, verse 27. And this is the verse we say in dua. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la takhunu Allah wa rasul wa takhunu amanatikum wa antum ta'lamun. How wonderful it would be when you read this Quranic verse in your Quran reading transliteration. And you should be feeling happy. Oh, you know Arabic now. Because Imam has taught us in dua Arabic. We do know Arabic. Katre katre sarovar thai. Word by word we will learn and we will grow. O you who have believed. So this is only to those who are believers. Those who are believers Allah is talking to, not to everybody. Those who have believed. Do not betray Allah and the Messenger or betray your trusts while you know. Now the concept of trust is very, very huge. But here we are keeping it with the context of the soul. And we had talked about that when we are born, our parents submit us to Imam. Tan man dhan, Imam ko diya. Truly, the child is submitted to Imam. And that child on the behalf, parents on the behalf of the child promise that this child is yours, Mola. And Imam, what does he do? Mukhi or Mukhyani on the behalf of Imam, they say, we return this child to you. Teach them, nurture them, make them good smileys. It is the responsibility of parents. The trust that our life is his life. Whatever we earn from this body, physically, spiritually, and intellectually, it is Imam's. But Imam mercifully says, no, live your life, be happy, have family, have fun, have joy. Do not do khayanat in the amanat. What has been put upon you, the trust, do not be cheating in that. We have to be able to pay the son physically, spiritually, and intellectually. Now, why? Why do we keep talking about these three levels? We only learned about money, the son. We never knew anything else. The son is not only on our physical body. Why do I say that? Because this physical body is working because I have a soul inside me. If I die, my body is not going to fulfill any purpose. It is because of the soul. Soul gives me the breath, saas. And it is using my soul that I go to work and earn money. We got to pay the son on the earning. But then where is the son of the breath I have, of our time? Where is the son of the knowledge which I have gotten? Imam during Golden Jubilee told us, give time and knowledge Nazrana. Because we did not wake up, so Imam had to tell us. But now we have the Imam's farman that we do need to give time and knowledge Nazrana. So Mubarakbad to you all. Mubarakbad to you all that we currently are paying physical, spiritual, and intellectual dasson. Ilm Majlis is Bihisht ki wadi. Why did Maula Ali say that? Simply because when we are sitting in Ilm Majlis, we are physically, spiritually, intellectually paying all three levels of the soul. Now, when we use this body to earn money and we get money, earnings, we do need to pay the dasond of money too. The higher we give, the more we get. That is the Hisab Kitab. Again, this verse we did last time, but this is the most important verse in context of zakat. And it says, chapter 9, verse 103, take from their wealth. Prophet Muhammad was asked by Allah, take from their wealth, a charity by which you purify them and cause them increase. And invoke Allah's blessings upon them. Prophet is asked to pray for Mu'minins. Indeed, your invocations are reassurance for them, and Allah is hearing and knowing. Today, the embodied Nur, the Nur which was in Paigambar, it The Janashin is Maula Ali, and today's Janashin is Shah Karim. When we pay the Dasond, they pray for us. Imam prays for us. Imam gives us dua, we hear it. And that becomes the peace of our heart, progress of our soul. Now, when we look at this translation, wealth or charity, again, the word charity means donation. It is not zakat. We have to look at the transliteration. Tathirahum. The word tathirahum, if you were to go and look at the translation word by word, tathir means to purify. Wa meaning and, tazkihim. Do you see the word zakat here? Zaki, tazkihim. Again means purification. And the word here is sadaqah, which means offering. Sadaqah, the word means offering. Whatever we offer with the objective of tathir, pakizgi, tazkihim, pakizgi, will cause increase for us. Will cause increase for us. And then Imam prays for us. So when we look at this verse, we have to talk about the word sadqa. This is new word now because we didn't talk about it. The word sadqa actually means to offer. During the time of Prophet Muhammad, the practice of Prophet was that he would accept khums, ushar, but he will never accept sadqa. Sadqa was just offering, can be given to poor. Prophet himself will never accept the sadqa. In fact, when we listen to the story of Salman Farsi, one of the signs which he was told to identify the Prophet of the time, he was told by this Hindu Bhagat actually, that the Prophet would never accept sadqa. So Salman Farsi, when he is visiting Prophet at night time to identify if he is the right Prophet, because he had a lot of tests in finding the Prophet, right Prophet. So he offers and he says, this is sadqa for you. And Prophet takes it and give it to somebody else. He does not eat from it. That example, that meaning, that understanding of word sadqa again is taken as offering. But when we completely study this verse, when it says, Huz min amwalihim sadaqa, tathiruhum wa taskihum. Tathirahum wa taskihum is for the objective of purification. The word taskihim also means to increase. Now, Arabic language is very, very complex language. Even one word can mean opposite meanings. So it is very difficult. One meaning is to cause increase. And we did study that when we pay the Dasond for the purification of purposes, it does multiplies. So those who offer with the objective of purification also get increase as well as purification. How? Because Imam prays for them. It is the command of Allah to Prophet at that time, and our Imam, who are the Janashin of Paigambar, direct descendant of Prophet Muhammad, they do the same thing. So the zakat we pay, it's for the purpose of purification. Here is the word sakih, same root word. Now, this is the verse, we had done it last time, but we will review it. Chapter 3, verse 180. And let not those who withhold what Allah has given them, the translator says greedily, let not those who withhold what Allah has given them of His bounty ever think that it is better for them to keep it. It is better for them. No, rather it is worse for them. Their necks will be encircled by what they withheld on the day of resurrection. And to Allah belongs the heritage of the heavens and the earth. And Allah, with what you do, is acquainted. He knows what we do. He's aware. Nothing is hidden. Chit ki chori, Imam knows. So this verse, when we study this verse, again, we have to look into the transliteration to be going into deep meaning of words and understanding that when we give the song, it is for the purpose of salvation. Imam says in Usul-e-Din Farman that if someone does good deeds, but never reaches to azadi, never reaches to freedom, freedom of what? When? At the time of resurrection, on the last day, on the day of Qiyamah. What is the benefit? So we pay the son for this purpose of the salvation. So there are so many reasons, but the main important understanding is we give the son for the purpose of purification. But we understand that when we say purification and Imam is praying, Imam's prayers for us is that to merge with him, to be one with him. So just to summarize what we've been discussing, that zakat is the pillar of Islam, zakat or the sawm, they are same thing. We may hear different terms. Do not need to get confused. Ushar, khums, zakah, jazya, sadaqah. We do need to stay confident and say, yes, we pay the sawm, we give it to Imam, that is our zakat, and it is for us, understanding is purification. For them, it is, they are giving it to poor people. After Prophet Muhammad not being there physically, the Janasheen of Prophet, it is Maula Ali, and it is the hukum of Imam we follow. Those who do not have living guide, they do whatever, they call whatever. But we need to stay connected to the living Imam, whose direction for us is to be giving the sawm. And the sawm purifies us. Tawil, the deeper meaning of the word zakah, wherever we see in Quran, it is purification. Pagambar in his time was the Nur-e Mujassam, the embodied light. Today it is Shah Karim. And we are so blessed to have living Imam with us who guides us according to the time. During that time, we had Ushar, Khum, Zakah, Jazia, Sadqa. In today's time, it is only the sawm. Now, that does not mean that anybody who wants to give donation to AKF, they cannot do so. The more we give, the better it is for us. But the sawm is must. We are giving the sawm for the purification. What kind of purification? So we are so pure. The way when we were born, like clean slate, pure from his nur. When we die, we are that pure and become one with him. So again, just to review very quickly, because it is so important. What is the sawm? Yes, it is zakat. How? Our tariqah is dynamic tariqah. We are called by Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah Ibnul Waqt, children of this period. We do things according to the time, guided by the Imam. In Prophet Muhammad's time, there was ushar and khums, zakat for poor tax. These terms were there. In Pir's time, we gave the sawm, saying haq of Imam and haq of Pir. In today's time, the sawm is zakat, to be given from our earnings, from our wealth and earnings. Why? For the sake of purification. So I hope it has all come together for us to understand. Now, why do we pay the sawm? Why do we have to do that? Again, remember, these are your questions I'm incorporating. There's a concept of sacrifice. Every religion has the concept of sacrifice. 12.5% is must on every smiley moment. But there are Jamaat who give 25%. There are Jamaat I have met 75%. And I'm blessed to have met someone who did sirbandi, life sacrifice. Then we have majalis. We have life ki majlis, we have mother majlis. Majlis is singular, majalis is plural. Again, it is our free will we use to do what we like. Give more for our happiness, our peace and progress. Why not? Who is stopping us? But Chandrat is the only majlis which is must. In today's time, there are mothers who have asked me that their children do not go to Jamaat Khana. We have put their name into higher majlis and they don't go. And they say, I never gave that commitment, you gave it to me. Don't force your children, but teach by role modeling. Similarly, we have to teach young children from the very young age about sacrifice, about giving Imam. There's no limit in giving, but we do need to learn the habit of Qurbani. Qurbani is a very important concept in Islam. So it is up to us how we give Qurbani. In context of Qurbani, sacrifice, I'd like to show you 2 Ginanic words and then we will end. This is a beautiful Ginan by Pir Hasan Shah. Pir says, Eji mein wari wari sadgur tu balhari. Eji mein wari wari sadgur tu balhari. Mein sari wari murshid tu balhari. Oh brother, I have offered my sacrifice to my true guide. I have sacrificed all myself to my murshid, my imam. This is from Asha ji, verse 305. Das bandi sir bandi shah ku pyari. Das bandi sir bandi shah ku pyari. તેથી ગરીબ જમણો જી ગરીબ તે જે કાંઈ ન જાણે. Dasbandi actually means Dasond. Sirbandi means life sacrifice, life dedication. But when I was talking to you in context of sacrifice of Dasond here, this practice used to exist no more. I was blessed to meet someone who did it in current time twice in his life. Sirbandi means in that time, which was used to happen a lot in Sultan Muhammad Shah's time, what you do, like I'm right now, I'm here, I'm wearing my clothes and I walk out of the house and I give key to Mukhi Sahib. Whatever is in the house is Imam's, Sirbandi. And I as an individual restart my life, restart everything. Whatever I have, Sirbandi, again, this is my belonging. Sirbandi in the context of my belonging. Give it everything to Imam. Remember, when we are talking about the concept of the song, it is in context of what we have, our earning, and it was money. So there are Jamaati members who give 25%. There are Jamaati members who give 75%. And there are members, if you're lucky to find somebody, because they don't talk about it, Sirbandi. They just walk out and they restart. And I was blessed to meet this individual who did this twice in his life. And he's blessed, very rich guy again. So Dasbandi, Sirbandi, Shah ku pyari. Even at that time, the concept of life dedication, the majlis, life majlis, actually is that concept in Tawili sense, that I've given my life to my Imam, not just my money. Everything I give to my Imam. But does that life dedication mean only to attend that majlis for 1 hour or so and that is it? So if we are doing that, we have not understood the meaning of that majlis. Our peers at that time did teach us this concept, Dasbandi and Sirbandi. So when I say today that Dasond is applicable for our physical, spiritual, intellectual life, here is the answer. He taught us. We didn't understand it. Sirbandi. Whatever I have, it is Imam's. So why do we think that Dasond is not applicable on my time, on my knowledge? Lack of knowledge. And it is Shah ko pyari. Our peers have taught us. Tethi garib jamno ji. Now this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. He says, therefore, feed the poor. When Jamaat was able to just understand at the level of the concept of money, it is actually feeding the poor. But today, if you ask the Tawili understanding of feeding the poor, Jamaat is Shukar Maula, we are not that poor that we need somebody to give food to us. Ismaili Jamaat is not that in a bad situation. There are some areas still, due to war and whatnot, that Jamaat is struggling. But in today's time, what is the higher meaning of this? Therefore, feed the poor. When we give the Dasond of our time and knowledge, those who are poor with their knowledge, and due to that, they have waswasas in their heart, anxieties and depression and whatnot, because there's lack of knowledge. When we give our time and knowledge to feed the poor souls, what happens? They become so happy, they feel so shukrguzar. The poor are the ones who know nothing. Those who don't have knowledge, they know nothing. Give them knowledge and time to. So the Dasond is applicable, this sacrifice is applicable at a very broad sense. In today's time, the Dasond is expected at higher level because it's the time of Qiyamah. That is why in Golden Jubilee time, Imam asked us to give time and knowledge Nazrana. And there is much more we can talk about it, but inshallah, when we continue to walk on this journey, we will be able to pick things and connect dots to understand the whole bigger concept of what is it to truly pay the Dasond, Imam ka haq. Shukran lillah, alhamdulillah. If any friends have any questions, they can come forward.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. There is a question, friend is saying, as you mentioned, the Dasond is zakat. Then are we to say that this money is all for charity?
Okay, good question. Let me repeat. The money which we pay to Imam, it is Imam's decision if he uses for AKF projects, which could be for poor Jamaati member, for education, for any purposes. It is Imam's wish how Imam uses. For us, we are looking at the meaning of the word zakat, which is for the sake of purification. So I understand this question, the context of it, right? We are talking to our Muslim brothers and friends, or even family members, because there are interfaith marriages. I pay my zakat to Imam. It is Imam's desire how Imam uses it. You pay to the poor people, and that's okay. I don't have to go through the struggle of finding poor people. I let my Imam decide who to give. And do you want to know what my Imam does? Open up the AKF webpage and show it to them. What Imam is doing in Africa, what Imam is doing in Uganda, what Imam is doing in India and Pakistan. How and different projects. Music award. What do we think music award is? It's just uplifting the music? No, all those musicians who had hard time feeding themselves with their beautiful musical instruments, they were playing it. Imam has lifted their status, and now they're valued and respected. Anything Imam is doing, it is not free of wisdom. Teach them, show it to them how your zakat is being used in a right way with very intellectual people investing in Jamaat and humanity, taking hisab kitab of every penny. There is no worry of money being deceivably used or cheated, because it is all by Imam and those volunteers who work with Imam in making sure that the Jamaat and the humanity benefit. This would be your answer to your non-Ismaili family members or friends or whoever. For you as Ismaili, the answer, your understanding is, zakat we give, it is for purification purposes. So we can be having the didar of Imam. So we can get to the salvation, that azadi which we seek. I hope this helps.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. There's one more question. Friend is asking, is the Dasond given to on a gross or on the net? Can you please clarify?
So in the last session, I said it should be paid on the gross income, and I'll give you my rationale. Generally, it is said that you give it on your net income. And actually, I gave example, but let me just clarify more. I'm going to take example of USA, okay, here. When we get our gross pay, the tax is being deducted. and then we get the net pay. And we pay the Dasond from our net pay. But what happens after taxation time, the tax is deducted, there are times when we get money in return. And I have found from very many good, smart people, friends, that money they use as if, oh, it's an extra money. I can get this and I can get that. I got money back. What happened to your Dasond? Forgotten. So it is very individual, that individualized approach, I would say, that you do not want to leave any room for mistakes like this. Remember what our Imam has said. If we give him one, he will give us sawa lakh. So why gross or net question even arises there? Again, remember, this is the riyazah, this is the qurbani that we need to detach from this wealth. The only way to detach is by giving, or when Imam tests us. Last time, I would like to quote what Khairuddin had said, that I don't understand why people have questions about the Dasond, and he gave us the example that when he, in his lifetime, the Dasond, whatever he gave, and when he was given the ticket by Imam to travel from Afghanistan to Canada, that amount of ticket was much more multiplied by the amount he paid in the Dasond. This is the Majiza of Imam in physical lifetime in front of us. When the Jamaat was taken from Afghanistan to Canada, London, wherever, Imam paid it from his own pocket. Because Imam's planes from Uganda to Imam moved them. So when we start talking like that, oh, net pay or gross pay, I feel uncomfortable. I truly feel uncomfortable. Are we doing hisab kitab with Imam? It is, to give is a pleasure. It should be the joy and happiness. Yes, we do need to count. We do understand that. The more we give, that approach, that mentality we have, the more we give, Imam will bless us multiplied times. If we keep that in our heart and Iman, we will see miracles in our life. Again, what is the conclusion? Be careful. If you're paying on the net and the government returns the money, you make sure that you pay this one. Simple as that. Ji.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. There is another question. Time and knowledge, which Imam has said about, is that to be given to Smiley Bhaivan or anyone?
Very good question. I say charity begins from home. When I say that, I'm not even saying Ismailis. I'm saying you. Charity begins from home. Have you taken care of your own soul? Have you invested your time in learning the true knowledge? Do you have time from our busy lives to pick up a book and read, which will help you in understanding your tariqah, the Tawili knowledge? If you haven't done that, if you don't have time, how about taking care of yourself first? Let's have some self-love. When we have something to give, then go out, give it to Smileys. And then we have more, give it to non-Smileys too. Imam does it, so we do need to do that. Now, the complication is, let's say, for me, I am professionally a registered nurse. When the COVID vaccine time was there, we gave vaccines to everybody, voluntarily giving this khidmat. Because I have this knowledge as a nurse, I did that professionally. But my duty first lies with my soul, first my soul, and then souls of my Jamaat, my own brothers and sisters. And on top of that, if I have a skill and knowledge, and if I have time, why not? So there is another related question one had asked, that I only know computers. I'm an IT person. Okay, teach Jamaat how to use computers and IT skills and whatnot, different programs. But then have you taken care of your soul? Don't forget that. Charity begins from home. When we start asking questions like that, we do really need to think, how poor are we? How unfed, hungry we are. Am I hungry? I'm talking about my soul, which is starving, malnourished. How are we utilizing our time? So when someone asks me about khidmat, where do I give my khidmat? I have my khidmat in Jamaat Khana and I enjoy that. Definitely do that. You should. The whole Jamaati Kriya, it works on khidmat. Our organization, our institution works on khidmat. If we will not volunteer, then who will? We do need to do that. But then remember to take care of your soul too. Nobody is saying to let go of that to do this. But if you let go of this and do that, you are in trouble. Again, we all are adults. We do need to decide what do we need to do and how do we need to go about it. Ji.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Any friends, if you have any questions, please come forward. You can unmute your devices and come forward.
I have a thought, my understanding. Imam, as much as he does, I don't think all murids together paying our Dasond, whatever khidmat, is even enough. Imam is putting more than, मेरे ख्याल से 50-60% तो इमाम का पैसा है जो चीजें चल रही है, तो हमारा पैसा तो कुछ भी नहीं है उसके सामने. That's what I think.
Yes, I agree with you. ये आंसर जो है ना ये ईमान से है and knowledge से भी है. We see imams work. प्रॉब्लम कहाँ आता है जब हम ऐसी बातें करते हैं कि जब जमात के दिल में उन जमाती मेंबर्स के दिल में वसवसे डाले जाते हैं, those who do not have knowledge. For example, somebody asked me that Mola has these horses and he races horse, gambling. Why Imam is doing that? And Shukr Mola, that Princess Zara wrote about it, that and Imam Sultan Umash has actually talked about in memoirs that breeding has been there in Imam's lives from beginning from Prophet Muhammad. They are lovers of horses. But all these things are taken in a distorted way by others who are enemy. And they badmouth Imam and they put waswasas in the hearts of Jamaat. And when Jamaat do not have the deeper meaning of it, then Iman is being challenged. And that is why it is so important to be having this knowledge, attending these advanced classes so our mind is opened up and we understand that how Jamaat is needing to be fed. इल्मी खुराक की जरूरत है जमात को. इल्म से हम कच्चे हैं. जब भी हमारे ईमान पे इम्तिहान आता है. When we seek knowledge, how simple and easy and beautiful it is. And we have proofs. Just Rosina said 50-60%, probably more. Imam is doing so much for humanity that he is the world citizen. Every government accepts him, seeks his advice and guidance. Shukrillah, alhamdulillah. Thank you, Rosina, for sharing that beautiful thought. Ji Khairudin.
يا لمدد نعمت Ustad, Rosina been beautiful, said very beautiful. I like that one. Allama Iqbal, I call him a hidden smiley. He was very pure, perfect smiley. He has one poetry, he said, you know, تو مرا ذوق بیان دادی گفتی که بگو سر شاخی میگویم بین قفس نتوان گفت. He's saying, Mawla, you give me all the wisdom that I want to say, but I can't say it being in the qafas, you know, in a cage. I want to say it when I'm free, like a bird on the top of a branch, because there's so much conflict during his time. So I've been to lots of these cases, this situation, you know, many times I said I've been grew up with that Nashiri brothers, you know, and with the community we lived was at Nashiri. The country we lived was a school, everything was a Sunni school. So if you compare your Dasond and all this zakat, and you compare, you know, we have over 1 billion Muslim. I will tell you, don't give your zakat or Dasond today, just stop. See what will happen. We go back to the same community, killing each other, destroying each other. This is only Imam's mercy. He accept. You say shukr, he accept that. You know, it's his mercy. He did that. And if you compare your every penny, your Dasond save life. You know that Quran ayat, when you save one life, you save the whole humanity. You know, as Imam built a nursing hospital in Bamiyan, Afghanistan. Used to, the mother, they could not travel to Kabul on the way. 1,000 child per year die with mother together. You imagine, that's a small one province I'm talking about. And he built in Badakhshan and so many other countries. So you're saving life. If you don't want to be out of this, good luck, those who left Ismaili. You know, I'm scared to say, but I swear, even that our other community brother, sister, they give their children to this radical in the name of jihad and all those stuff. Our Muki never sent one email, NIAMAT, you did not pay your Dasond this month or this year. But they take by force. Now, not all the time, especially now, they force people take twice khums, zakat, and ushur from farmer in our country right now, because they are struggling even from one-time meal. It's so much problem there. And in this, Ismail is only community who's free and who is safe. Your kids is safe, our children, our women is safe. So this is the miracle of this Satpand. And if you just leave yourself 1 minute, you say you're not smiling, see where you end up. Destruction. It's end of the world right now. If you're not in the kishti of no, you're drowned. This is, those who think no, still is there's a dryness here. I think you're sleeping, because everything is drowned already. The world is in chaos, in problem, in trouble. You're the only community politically and even physically you're safe right now. You're free. Everybody is their kids is not safe, their women is not safe, they're day and night. It's all in struggling. Thank you.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Beautiful sharing, Khairuddin. I mean, I don't have words to appreciate what you just said. Shukran Mawla, that we are so blessed to be Ismailis in the boat of salvation. We are in the boat of Iman, in the boat of salvation. Otherwise, it is hard to say, but it's reality that Muslims, if you look at the world today, Muslims are killing Muslims. So it is really sad state. Shukran Mawla that we have living guide. Shukran Lillah, Alhamdulillah. And we pray for the whole Ummah and humanity to Mawla Mushkil Asan Mawla. Ameen.
या लिमदत नवीन साहिबा राबिया का सुभान अल्लाह, आपने वो जो बताया अबाउट दसून एंड द रिटर्न ऑफ जो टैक्सेस में है कि दसून डाल दो उसमें, इट इज सो ट्रू कि मैं भी घबराती हूँ कि कभी ऐसे होता है ना, तो मैं आई से कि ये दसून का है, ये दसून में डाल दो. एंड थैंक मौला, थैंक गॉड मौला को कि ये हमारे दिमाग में ये समझ डालता है. So thank you so much के सुभान अल्लाह, मजा आ जाता है आपके सेशन में. और इतनी मेहनत आप लोग सब करते, नवीन साहिबा, आप और अब पूरा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. मौला आप लोग को सुखी रखे अपने फैमिली के साथ. मौला पार्टिसिपेंट्स भी जो अपना टाइम देते हैं, मौला सबको, ग्लोबल जमात को छेल्ले दम सुधी हमारा ईमान, जान, माल, इज्जत, आबरू, आल, औलाद सलामत रखे और दीन और दुनिया में सुखी सलामत और आबाद रखे. Thank you, Naveen Sahiba. Thank you, participants. I'll gain knowledge from the question and answers also. I gain a lot of knowledge, so I have to thank the participants too. Yali Madad.
Naveen Sahib, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
I have a question for you. You know how our parents get older I'm talking maybe 80, 90 years old, but they might be suffering from Alzheimer's. Now, of course, we are aware that they've been paying Dasond, but now they've come to this position where they're not well. Yeah, does a family have the right to pay from their pocket, their Dasond, and will it count?
Of course, we take care of our sick family members and we do what is needed to do to take care of them. Yes.
So, but we're taking it from our earnings, like the child's earning,
So
and
remember,
putting it on their behalf.
yeah, I mean, that's a good qurbani on the behalf of the child. Remember, ek ka sawal lakh hai. But elderly population, when they get money from government or whatnot, the zone does apply to them. If you have no earning, children pay for them, and that's okay. Remember, there's no hisab kitab in that way. If there are children in the family who are doing that, I would say salute to you, those who are doing it, because you are benefiting a lot.
Well, I know an individual who was not going Khane for many years, and then finally decided in the last 3 years to go Khane. And of course, the individual regrets not going earlier, but in the early part, one of the family members was always putting the Dasond on behalf of the family. So inshallah, it got counted, including the individual who started putting themselves there.
Shukran, Maulasi. So probably it's the barakat of that qurbani, that Dasond which was paid by family, helped to change the mind of that person. So shukran, Maula.
Yeah.
Shukran.
Thank you.
Shukran, Maula. इजाजत लें दोस्तों. याली मदद, याली मदद.
Malali madad, malali madad.
Yani, yani